It's New Year and I'm just going to do a bit more of the hand dry video. This is inspired similar to what ZLG hand dries did, so shout out to him. But I'm just going to go through my videos, but we're going to go in some in-depth explanations about some of this stuff. So here we have the ladies' toilet, obviously hand dry under the sink. Just gonna, sorry I missed headphones, that might be why it's not working. There we go. So this is in the Meadowhall shopping centre. This is the arcade, really. So in my titles, I'm not going to put near somewhere. There is no description on this because it wouldn't let me add one. But this is located, the nearest toilets is downstairs, Marks & Spencer's, and this was in the ladies. Wasn't filmed by me, it was filmed for me, it weren't filmed by me. This was filmed in 2018, just after they'd been refurbished. They used to have, every toilet in Meadowhall used to have accelerators, according to someone. Not sure if that's true. And then it had Dysons. I know everyone had Dysons, and only one has Dysons now, and the rest have these. So next we're going to go back to my channel, and we are going to go onto the Airy Fury C1, sorry. And as you can see in the location, it says at McDonald's Meadowhall 2. Now, that's because there is one in the centre, which doesn't have a toilet, and there is one in the retail park nearby. This retail park one was extremely busy, but there was a cleaner in there. So just after cleaner left, there was no one in there because the cleaner wanted it closed. So I just managed to sneak in, and I found interesting that one of them was working, but one of them wasn't working, but it was doing something funny. So I decided to just give it a quick 5-second film, because obviously the restaurant was absolutely packed to the brim, like it always is. Here's a quick one. That's actually what it was doing. It wasn't actually giving any power out, but it was still turning, and there was still a light on it. Anyway, now we're going to go on to the compilations, which might be a bit harder to direct. First, just after a little one. So, a lot of people do say, how do you find Wilco with a toilet? Well, now I'm lucky that Wilco that's near me has toilets, and they all have world dryer. The toilets are located because they have a cafe. So Wilco don't put the fixtures in the toilet themselves. The catering company do. So they're not necessarily Wilco toilets. They're technically the catering companies, but it's easier to put Wilco because they're located within Wilco. It's like saying, instead of putting Meadowhall toilets, to put British Land toilets, but they are within Wilco, and Wilco customers use them. I know the catering company put different ones in each Wilco. I know the one in Middlesbrough has a Accelerator Eco, which I saw in August, but I didn't film then, because I wasn't filming in August. But when I do go back up, I will get a shot of that one as well. Now we have Hand Dry Compilation 1, which I'm just going to do a bit of narrating for. So this is McDonald's New Ollerton. This McDonald's I've been coming to for ages. It all used to be, I know it all used to be the older Air Fury, the really louder one with just the square on it. This got replaced by this hand dry here in the disabled, and the gents got replaced about 5 years after with air dry. Because the gents had the square one until about 2019. This is a good dryer. This is the shed disabled and baby change within the corridor of the McDonald's. I filmed this before I started filming. I didn't know if I was going to become a full-time filmer, so what I decided to do was just film one clip just to see. So I filmed this, and then 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, I filmed this next clip, which you're going to see now if my screen doesn't freeze. Here we go. So this is a different McDonald's. Now, it was extremely busy and the lock didn't work on the door, and I know someone had got stuck in, so I couldn't actually shut the door. The gents here, oddly, does have some Air Furies branded as Air Fury without the Lever stuff on it. But there was someone in there watching YouTube on the toilet, so I didn't bother filming then. But in the disabled, there is this one, and this is the one, when I say the square dryer, this is the one that I mean. This was extremely loud, literally. I put my hand under this, and honestly, I didn't expect it to be that loud. This McDonald's I went to at night, so it wasn't as busy as it usually is. Anyway, I just put notes, just to say what they have. Next is Sainsbury's. The disabled and baby change were both out of order because I was aiming to film both instead of the gents, but luckily there's no one in the gents, so I filmed that. I don't really like Air Forces, but this Sainsbury's does have 2 stories, the cafe on the top floor and everything else on the ground floor. There are 2 toilet blocks, but the cafe in that Sainsbury's closes at 4 p.m. and I was there about 6. So the problem is at 4 p.m. when they close the cafe, they close the entire top floor, so that was a ground floor toilet. Anyway, this is Mansfield Super Bowl. I washed my hands beforehand, but someone came in. There is a brand on this dryer and I saw it when I walked out, but I've forgotten what the brand is, and this clip's too fast for me to see, really. It was in white text, but I can't see it. This is me at Mansfield Super Bowl. I was picking up from a party, but the toilets here are quite dirty. The disabled, I didn't bother because I was, picking up from a party and I didn't have much time. But I did the upstairs one, and that has again, I don't like them jet towels. This is at school, the SM48. There's loads of different blocks. It's all mentioned in the description of this video. This is upstairs in maths. It's not a very good hand dryer, but Warner Howard, the manual actually says for these themselves that they do overheat very quickly. So the manual from PHS Warner Howard, because those 2 companies have merged. Anyway, now we have the reception at school. There is just 1 disabled toilet here, and it has an Oxford dryer, and it's a rare one, because I've seen an Oxford dryer in the Tesco cafe, but it's in the staff kitchen at Tesco cafe, so obviously I can't film that, but I just wanted to try out the Oxford dryer because it looked rare. It was not a very good dryer. This is in one of the Tesco's in Mansfield. There is 2. One is double story, one isn't. This is a single story one. That middle sink, the tap never works, but we have 2 air dry classics. As far as I'm aware, these are original, but due to this place being in the town centre, the baby change room is locked via a key code. So, and it's actually an actual key that it's locked with, so I didn't film that, obviously, but I did get the disabled toilet, and it just has the air dryer again, which is original. The toilet, like the panelling on the walls isn't original, but this toilet is original. The hand dryers and fixtures, obviously, that's soap dispenser, handrail, they're all original. This is upstairs in the second Tesco in Mansfield, because I went to both. I did film a bit on each floor, but because I was trying to do stuff at the same time, and it was just before Christmas, if there was someone in, I didn't wait, I just walked off. So this is upstairs. The gents here is often not used. It was closed at the start of the lockdown, but it's not near the cafe, it's in the far corner of upstairs, so people don't really know where it was unless you've been here for ages, because people used to use these all the time because the downstairs ones are a bit dirty, but people forget about these existing. There's 2 accelerators here. All the fixtures are original, but of course it's had a wall painting and refurbishment since opening. It's had, as far as I know, it's had these hand dryers for at least 9 years. So the disabled I've seen in the minute was out of order, but I'd used the baby change and I didn't wet my hand because I'd literally just come out the gents, and so the disabled out of order there. And now I'm going downstairs. The disabled had someone in it and the gents had loads of people in. As soon as people came out, others walked in, so I just got the quarto. There is an interesting backstory behind these toilets, actually, them Tesco ones. See, downstairs it used to be, I know the ladies has had classics because you used to be able to see it, but I don't know what's happened to them now. The gents had an accelerator and a classic, and the disabled had an accelerator. The disabled accelerator was replaced with an air dry quarto in 2019, but in 2020 the quarto was moved to the gents, and they swapped it around for the accelerator because the accelerator in the disabled that turned into a quarto used to be unbadged. So basically they've done a bit of swapping around. They've removed one accelerator, and but I don't know about the disabled, the ladies. Anyway, this is a Costa in Forest Town, Mansfield. I came here, there is 2 toilets, but there was this old woman staring at me because I was so quick in this toilet. But there's a dolphin dryer. I came in here a few years ago and they had the dolphin dryer. I expected it to be replaced with something not, I thought maybe it'd go for the Costa wave, like some of the Costas have been refurbished with other things, but no, still here is the dolphin hand dryer. It wasn't very good at all. I was glad to see it here, but not glad for how it works. Anyway, we only got a minute worth of hand dryers for this video. Some of these aren't hand dried, but I just, had a few clips. So this is Asda in Workshop. This store opened in 2020 and used an entire bio dryers. New Asdas would use auto, where the BioLite writing is would have auto written on it, but they're knockoffs of these and they are made by Asda themselves. These were good dryers, these toilets are new, but every other toilet except the ladies and gents, even the baby change, needs a radar key. I do have one, but it wasn't on me. This is the East Bridgeford Garden Centre. They've had fast dryers. They opened in 2018. It replaced a smaller garden centre, which was bought out by Blue Diamond and demolished. There is a baby change, a disabled changing room, and main toilets. I got them all except the baby change because there was someone in there and there was a bit of a queue for the toilet, so people were, there. I filmed 3 different waves of this hand dry because the first one was on fast setting, the second one didn't work very well, and the last one was, well, a little bit faster than the rest. This was there's no other actual hand dryers in this video. Just those. Anyway, we are going to go on to hand dry compilation 3. So this is the Tesco workshop. This is another Tesco I go to. This fully had entirely accelerator until about 2016-15 when it was refurbished. But oddly, the baby, so the toilets here, like toilets, you have one door to get in, then a second door. Well, within the first door is the baby change, but it's within the ladies, so I can't get that. The disabled I have filmed in a new compilation. That's going to be uploaded soon. Anyway, there you go. There's a lovely dolphin hand dryer. This one, it you used to keep turning off, but of course I knew whenever I'd filmed it'd completely work. Anyway, I'm guessing, we have Tesco Ollerton. This used to be a classic and an unbranded accelerator, but they were replaced with basically there used to be there was an air dry classic. Let's pause it. Air dry classic and an accelerator in the gents, and there was a dolphin in the baby change. In the baby change, it was replaced with a quarto, and one of the dolphins was moved to the gents, and they bought which was the unbranded one. Then they bought a new dolphin. The disabled has remained the same. I don't know about the ladies, obviously, but here's the baby change. But the light wouldn't turn on, so I had to have the door open because there's no switch for the light, and it's automatic. This disabled toilet is not a very nice disabled toilet because people, because owning it to being right in the centre of a small town. A lot of kids come in here and vandalise and stuff, so it's not very nice. This is at the nearby McDonald's at the roundabout where I filmed my first video with that Air Fury in the disabled, the one branded as Levere. This is the quartz that replaced the old square one. I prefer it. There you can see the holes from the old square one. It wasn't a very nice dry because it was extremely loud. This is the Jupiter's Garden Centre and Workshop. It was extremely busy here, so I just got one chance. However, one thing about, so this fully open with Air Force, this garden centre, what it has is it had a baby change, the disabled and the main toilets. The main toilets were replaced with an accelerator knockoff. Then they were replaced with new Lec things, similar to what I filmed at cinema, which you'll see soon. Then they were replaced with these blow motions, and now the disabled and baby change has these blow motions. There's a gallery next door, an art gallery, and they had the accelerator clones, but I forgot what the brand was. It begins with C, but I've not been in there in ages. It's B&Q Workshop. It's a very old toilet. There's literally one disabled toilet in the store. It was closed for COVID, but they've got a little bolt latch on it, and I have to move it. It doesn't do anything really because you can just open it. I was at school for a meeting, and we tried to look for tissue, and we found 2 toilets at the end of a corridor. So I went back, and they had another Oxford dryer, but there's no running water in this toilet. I tried the other taps off camera, but they didn't work. Anyway, it's becoming a long little video, but next coming for compilation 4. I only got 2 more to go after this. Okay, so we're going to start. This is in the office. It's one of the offices at school. Unfortunately, the dryer does not work because it's switched off. I just cannot reach the switch. Tall enough, I just can't reach it because it's right at the top of the wall. It's touching the roof. This is a library, I know. It originally had a toilet which had cloth towels, but then they closed it, and it's now got actually a power dry from 2018, which is not very good. This is that Tesco, the one in Mansfield, the double story. This is the gents downstairs with the 2 quartos what I was talking to you about. And here I was obviously explaining what happened and how the refurbishment was taken. In the next clip, you will see the accelerator in the disabled that used to be in the gents, but when it was in the gents, it was turned off, which you'll see in a minute. Sorry, the signal's not very good. I'm on Wi-Fi. Then next, you'll see the disabled upstairs because I went back. Jesus, it must have been 2 or 3, maybe even 4 weeks later, I went back and the upstairs disabled was free on a Friday night, so I, decided to do that. It wasn't out of order anymore. The next week, I drove all the way to M&S, Chesterfield, just for a hot chocolate. It was actually really good. I decided, I knew what there'd be in the toilet, but I thought I'd film it because it was a first for me. There's something about every toilet from now I've filmed in Chesterfield as a Mitsubishi jet towel, because I've done the B&Q for a recent video, but they had jet towels. The Dunelm obviously doesn't, but I didn't have time to do both, so I've prioritised B&Q because I need to look for something in there anyway. Anyway, this is a public toilet block. The gents here, as I'm explaining, the gents here had been closed since March, but didn't have a dryer. This Vortis hand dryer is very old, and I've heard from the local council that they're going to refurbish these because they've got a county hall a few miles from here, and that's been refurbished with Windsor dryers. So I just thought I'd film the Vortis come all the way up here. And there's this little Sherwood Forest and Visitors Centre thing. Sherwood Forest, Legend of Robin Hood, apparently. That's where paper towels used to be. There used to be 2 unbranded slow dryers, but now they have these initial F5 Ecos, which I used to not like the sound of, but they work a lot better, and I love these dryers. I did also film one in the disabled, but the second initial in here made an odd noise. Yeah, odd noise. Anyway, this is the disabled toilet, which is a very, very interesting size compared to like the 2 disabled toilets. This one's a big one, but the other one's absolutely tiny. Anyway, compilation 5. 4 minutes to go of me explaining. So National Trust, this is the cafe, but because the toilets are on the top floor, there's no disabled in the cafe. The baby change, basically there's a kitchen door for some reason upstairs and all the staff coming out of it, so I just did one toilet. I thought someone was going to come in, but I filmed 2 renditions of this because the first one I filmed washing my hands and the last one I didn't, so I merged them together, hence why you'll see the clips done and it's losing signal again for some reason. Anyway, there's a discovery centre, and it has a disabled upstairs and all the main toilets downstairs for some reason, and the separate disabled downstairs. There's 2 disabled and the main ones. They've all had Dyson since opening, and so I filmed those then. I filmed a few Dysons, so we're just going to skip to the last one. This is the downstairs disabled. The upstairs one, I know it's not a staff one, because the staff have a separate toilet, because I know someone who works here. Then, obviously, the main toilets, the gents has Air Force, the disabled and baby change has World Dryer, and the ladies have Dyson. But the disabled and baby change is out of order because someone said they tried to build a well, but they realised that the water pipes for the disabled and baby change are contaminated, so they're properly closed now. That's this one. And then Mansfield Super Bowl, I went back on a school trip. I tried the disabled. There was a blue roll, but it was out of sight, and not a blue roll dispenser, just a roll. I should have known, but that dryer was out of order. Anyway, this is Mansfield Library. They have the drug light, so I didn't go properly in. They have a Ventaxia hand dryer, and it doesn't work. This place is getting closed for refurbishments. That's why I decided to go. I knew the disabled had one of those Warner Howard 5500E things. I don't like the Warner Howard 5500E. You have to get a library card, hand it in, and then you get a code to go in here. But I don't like the 5500Es because they're not very nice. They're very loud, and they're just not very good to use. This is near Sherwood Forest. There's a second visitors centre. So there's me driving all the way back. An air vent hand dryer. I know what dryers are here. I didn't know if this would be here because I knew the gents had a blue dryer, but this air vent dryer is not very good. I did get stairs in here for coming in here as a kid, obviously, but I'm not a kid, but I got stared from coming in here. There's your blue dry hand dryer, blue dry, blue storm. I had a scooter around the forest and I got stairs for coming in with that. Then I went back into the smaller disabled toilet. The changing places is radar locked. I do have a radar key, but I thought let's not spam the hand dryer videos. This is going to be a 20-minute video. So hand dryer compilation 6. Here we go. This is Costa. I want to show you, but there's a bit of history to this place. So this used to be a Little Chef when it had World Dryer fully out. Then it became a restaurant called Big Fish. And then Big Fish closed in 2020 and now it's a Costa and the Big Fish takeaway at the back of the building in an old kitchen. Now, when it was the Big Fish, the whole time it still had Model A's, but Costa refurbished it with Air Furies. But the second toilet was out of order. I know someone who's from near where this Costa is, so if you really want to see a second Air Furies, they can film it if you really want to see a second one. Yeah, I just literally stopped at a Costa on the way back from, I don't know, I've forgotten now. tragedy that this is Air Force in Sainsbury's workshop. Now, here's a story, right? So these have been recently refurbed. There was a Warner Howard Air Force in the in the disabled, Air Force in the ladies, but the gents had a Warner Howard as well, and the disabled had a PHS. However, they were swapped, and the baby chains in the PHS, these were swapped around. So this is the really old one. It's very high pitched. I had to rush because there were 2 men both in the cubicle, and one of them had just finished. It was just opening the door, so I decided I just rushed. Well, they weren't opening the door, but I heard the flush go. So the Burger King and workshop nearby, it's new, it's a massive shambles in there, it's really expensive and the service is a bit rubbish. Systems don't work very good. But these are dry flow dryers. These look very good, but they didn't dry my hands very well and they had cold air, so not good. Also, yeah, not a very good Burger King. I've never really been a fan of Burger King because pretty much every Burger King I've been to in the last few months has just been a bit of a letdown. This is the as that disabled. There's 3 disableds. There's 2 disabled and a baby change. The one disabled that I picked was the one with the radar lock broken and the cleaner was outside. So I just took a rush. Anyway, here we are at McDonald. This is the second one in workshop. Annoyingly, the first one has McFlows, but none of my family like that one. They all like the new one. So they have Quartos because they opened in April. And I was just washing my hands for a while there because I didn't realise how much soap came out. There we go. And then there's 2 dryers, obviously. And I dried it for ages because I was waiting for me order. And also, I had to collect some balloons because we were going to have 3 balloons. I didn't want to, wet the balloons and whatnot, so we have 2 dries here. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my hand dry explanations video. It's been 21 minutes. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out, my G's.